Hey, Colin Hiles here, aka the Mindset Guy, with today's training video, which is video number 6 in the How to Be Happy series. And this video is all about meditation. And I have to say, one of the smartest decisions I ever made was learning to meditate, because meditation equals power. Whatever you do, meditation will help you do it better. And the lovely thing about meditation is, you don't need to master it before you get the benefits of it. And you don't have to become a Tibetan monk before and study it for years and years before you get the benefits. The moment you start practicing it, you will start getting the benefits from it. And yogis have known this for years, and scientists are now beginning to see and being able to kind of study and see that meditation has a profound effect in our lives. It literally, it's like dropping a stone in the middle of the pond. It ripples out into many areas. Meditation improves our health. Meditation improves our performance. Meditation improves the relationships we have with ourselves. Meditation improves the relationships we have with others. And meditation can give us that glimpse of that spiritual side of our being. And I would say that meditation is the single most crucial part on this path to happiness. That's how big of an effect it has. If you begin to meditate, or when you begin to meditate, a number of things are going to happen, a number of benefits. Firstly, you've got the focus of attention. See, we live in a world today where our attention is splattered all over the place. I call it attention splatter. It's splattered all over the place. And when we can bring our attention and we can learn to really focus, we become powerful. If you think about the sun's rays, right, are diffused. But if you take a magnifying glass and you take the rays from the sun and you put them through the magnifying glass and then you focus that energy, literally you can set light. It creates that much heat, it sets light. And it's the same with the way our mind and our brain, that if we can really put our attention, keep our focus on the goals we want to achieve, keep our focus on the things we need to do to it, that we can concentrate when it matters, then we become really powerful. There's also we experience the world through our senses. And when you begin to meditate, it's like you begin to clean up the windows through which you see the world. And I'm talking about our 5 senses there, not just our eyes. And whatever gives you pleasure, whether it's music or sex or food or art or massage, when you meditate, what's going to happen is you will find that you will need to do less of those in order to get a greater sense of pleasure. You see, not only have we got attention splatter, but our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. It's just the world that we live in. And so what's happening as a result is we're having to do more of things to get the same feeling. It's like, our threshold goes up. And it's almost like we start to become numb and we become distracted. Well, meditation will reverse that. You'll find that you'll enjoy food more. Just the simple art of eating, will change. Your taste will change. What you see will change. Also, with meditation, it begins to quieten the mind. And we have so much noise in our mind, so much mind chatter. And in fact, I found it wasn't until I began to meditate that I realized just how noisy the inner mind is. That when you begin to quieten the mind, you experience more calm, more harmony, more relaxation. And then lastly, as I said, there's this spiritual side of meditation. You get this glimpse. And for me, once I had that glimpse, and to begin with, it was only a glimpse, it was like I was hooked. I wanted more of that feeling of wholeness and oneness, that realization of interconnection, that we're all interconnected, we're all connected via energy. And I know this sounds a bit woo-woo, and for some of you might already be freaking out here, but you need to experience it. It's like the color blue. If you try and explain the color blue to a blind person, it's very, very difficult, right? You have to experience it for yourself before you really, really get it. And that's what really got me. Now, the other thing is that I really want to talk about here is, why does meditation work? What's behind it? What's making the difference? What are these scientists finding out? Well, Often in the pursuit of happiness, we look at emotions, but it's also important that we look at brainwave and brainwave frequencies, and also the part that the subconscious plays in this pursuit of fulfillment and happiness. So basically there are 4 brainwaves, as you see here. And I've mapped these out. I'm going to talk you through these so that you can see where meditation plays and why meditation is really important. So here we've got the depth of the mind. So beta, alpha, theta, and delta here are the 4 brain waves. Now over here you'll see these HZs. These are cycles per second. All it basically means is the gaps between thoughts. So up here is beta, 13 to 13 hertz, right? This is where thinking's pretty quick, pretty rapid, as you can see here. There's not many gaps between thinking. And this is like a waking alert state. This is what that is. You're probably in beta right now as you're watching me, possibly. But when you're working and when you're doing through the day, it's like active mind, active body is really what we're talking about here. And the challenge with beta is that if the thoughts start speeding up too much, that's when we experience this worry and anxiety. And so there's a danger to being locked in beta and being stuck in beta most of the time. Under beta, we have alpha. And this is where we begin to relax. This is where we experience that feeling of relaxation and calmness. It's when the mind begins to quieten down. And this is sort of, this is a meditative state, but it's a light meditative state. And it's one that we experience naturally. If you go for a walk in nature, you might find that. If you're even performing a sport like running, even though you'd think, well, but actually, we can go into alpha, into a meditative state. And this is where sometimes the best ideas bubble up. You know, you may find that, like when you're relaxed, you get the idea to the problem that you've been thinking about, you know, and whilst you're thinking about it, you just couldn't get it. But now you've relaxed, now you've got it. I don't know if you've ever experienced driving a car. They call it actually highway hypnosis, where you arrive at work and you can't remember the journey, or you jump in your car to go to the shops on a Saturday and find that you're driving to work. You know, you just go, what am I doing? It's Saturday, what am I doing? And this is where, you know, we drop down into alpha and we're still able to perform, but it's like we lose ourselves for a while. So that's alpha. Then we've got theta here. Now this is where we start to get into a deeper state of meditation. This is where it's sort of the borderline between awake and sleep here. And you can be awake here, but you could also be asleep here as well. And you know, some of the best practitioners of meditation are able to get to this state, and they can get there quite quickly. And I'm going to share with you how to do that at the end of this video, right? And then under that, we've got delta. Now, delta is where we are, for us, certainly asleep. But, you know, these Tibetan monks that have been practicing meditation for many, many years are actually able to get down to delta, but still be awake. Which is you know, quite an incredible feat. So healing takes place here. This is why we need to sleep, because when we sleep, we heal. And if we're not getting enough sleep, then you can see that we're not resting the body and we're not allowing the body to heal. Now the subconscious mind, once we drop down from beta to alpha, alpha here is the bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. The moment we move into alpha, the moment we begin to access that sort of subconscious wisdom that sits there, but also visualization starts. When we get to theta down here, this is where the mind sort of shifts from this sort of thinking, visualizing mind to this meditative visualizing mind. And visualization works best when we're sort of between alpha and theta. Certainly down here in theta, this is where visualization and the ability to shift and change any subconscious programming is much easier to do. When it comes to learning, you know, learning works best if we need to learn something from alpha, in alpha down. So any teacher that has the ability to create a relaxed and alert classroom, well, will create better learning environments. If a child is in beta, then it's very hard to learn. So So it's really important here that we understand the way that brainwaves work so that we can get ourselves into the two brainwaves that make the biggest difference, alpha and theta. Here, this is where we want to get to. Anywhere here is going to make a big, big difference. And it's important that we don't just get there naturally, that we have the ability to put ourselves there on command. And that's what meditation is. It's a practice where we hold our attention for a period of time and we downshift our brainwave frequencies into alpha and theta. And there is where we're going to experience all of the benefits that I've talked about so far. So let's talk about how to do that, right? So I'm going to give you a way of doing it. And I recommend, if I've inspired you to check out meditation, then just get online, do a search. There's a number of ways of meditating. For me, for instance, I quite like getting on my paddle board, which I try to do almost every day that I'm here in Spain, you know, paddle out to sea or paddle up the river, depending on the weather conditions. But just through being out in nature and just paddling on water, I know for me, takes me into alpha. And if I really hold my attention and focus and stay absolutely present, I know I can get down here. I mean, that time can just go and it's like, where did that hour go? I mean, it's just gone and I'm back where I started. Incredible. So let's talk about how to do it. Here's a simple meditation practice if you've never done it before, right? Find a comfortable position to sit. Now, I like to, when I first started, I like to rest my back up against the wall. I put a cushion on the floor, cushion here, and just rest myself against it. Cross your legs, drop your hands down into your sort of lap, and I like to rest one palm inside the other palm and sort of thumbs touching like so. Close your eyes because that is, it's easy to be distracted with what's going on outside you. If you close your mind, you get rid of all of that distraction. And then what you begin to do, this is called a breathing meditation. All you do is you begin to observe your breathing. Don't change it, don't look to do anything with it, just observe your breathing. And if your mind wanders, bring it back to your breathing. And then start to mantra. Hold one thought with this mantra, which is breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And just follow your breathing using that mantra of breathing in and breathe out. Now, what will happen is your breathing will naturally begin to elongate. And as your breathing begins to elongate, your mind will begin to quieten. So these gaps between the thinking will start to get bigger. And that's when you'll get that glimpse of harmony or calmness or oneness or whatever words work for you, the more gaps that you get. And then the mind may run and it will start saying things like, this is stupid, this is ridiculous, hope no one's looking at me, blah, 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 blah. The noise will come in. Just bring it back to breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And guess what? You can do this anywhere. Not when you're driving, of course, right? But if you're on a bus or you're on a tube or you're on a train or you're just sat at home or you're inside or outside, it doesn't matter, right? And what I recommend is the real benefit you'll get is doing it regularly, often. You're better to do 5 minutes every day than 60 minutes once a week. The real benefit comes from the repetition and the consistency nature of doing it regularly. That's where you get the real benefit. So I'm going to stop there, and your homework is to at least, for the next 7 days, in between now and the next video, which I'll have here, is to see if you can get in 5 minutes of meditation. 5 minutes is not that difficult to get in. 5 minutes. And what you do is you set the timer on your phone, your iPhone or your Android phone, for 5 minutes. Press it, close your eyes, do what I've just said, and then the alarm will go off and that's it. Find 5 minutes and notice what happens as this accumulative effect happens after 7 days. And then you can increase it to 6 minutes, and then you can increase it to 7 minutes. And then you'll start to really get the benefit. 10 minutes is really where you start to get some of the significant benefits and, and beyond. So I'd like to thank you once again for listening to this little video. Please give me some feedback. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you get the updates. You can feedback below. If you're so busy, then just give me a number. 1, didn't enjoy it, 10 really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Hey, before you go, I want to share a really powerful way to cheat and get better results with your meditations. You see, there's a technology called Brainwave Synchronization that can be embedded in recorded audio that actually induces the meditative state in the listener with no effort on their part. All of the products in the Mind Power Plus Toolkit use leading brainwave entrainment so that you can get into a deeper meditative state fast. It's a collection of 4 powerful guided sessions, including the famous Alpha Calm. Now, a lot of people, including me, have found it a really useful and easy way to get results. And this includes tons of folks who have tried to meditate before, but couldn't get it to work for them. As you listen, the isochronic tones hemisync your brain into a peaceful, calm, and blissful state, whilst I guide you through a specific visualization. And the higher state of consciousness opens up your subconscious mind to the new images, which in turn activates more of the law of attraction. Anyway, it's pretty cool and I think you might like it. So if you want to check it out, you can take a look at the video that's on the link below or go to www.advancedmindpowertraining.com/mind-power-plus-toolkit. It's all explained there.